Hello, and welcome to episode 79 of the Inventive Marketing Club. We're here every week to help you build a better marketing strategy. On this week's episode, we're going to look at how to create remarkable video content that hopefully engages your customers and leads them to your website or brings them over to your Etsy page so they can buy from you. So I'm just going to jump straight in to this presentation. The thing I love about video is it helps create emotion. So, for example, if you see someone smiling in a video, then you are likely to smile as well. If you see someone crying, that's likely to happen. I mean, films use this to great advantage with some maybe rousing score in the background, something really, emotional is going on, something sad. You will start to feel that as well. And video is really conveys that. You can get it in audio. There's some great audio stories that I've listened to where they can pull that off, but video really hits all of the senses. So it's very emotive, and with emotion, that helps engage people, that gets them to lean forward and draws people into the story that you're trying to tell. It's information dense. It's a really good way of imparting information. They say a picture tells is worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is maybe multiplied up tenfold, 100-fold, because you can get quite a lot of information across. You can show people how to do things, and you don't need to, if you were writing it down, you'd actually need to write down every single detail of that. But if you're showing someone how to do it, they can see how these two widgets fit together, or how to do some search engine optimization on their website. Whereas if you were to write that, you've got a lot of information that you need to write down. So it's quite information dense. It's very easy to share. I mean, sharing a video online is so easy. You often would embed the video in YouTube, upload it to YouTube, and then you can copy and paste that link, put it onto your website as a link. You can embed it on there. You can share it on other social media feeds. You can even put it in an email. It's super easy. But video on most social media feeds, pretty much all of them rely on video now. They love video, particularly TikTok, and it's a really easy way to share video. So video is perhaps much easier to share than some text, which if you were to try and put that onto one of your Facebook posts, you're going to have a big ream of text from your blog post that people have to read, and they're like, I'm not sure I want to read that now. Whereas you can copy and paste the video link on there, or just directly upload the video and people can watch it in line, and it doesn't feel hard. It's also really great for SEO. I mentioned YouTube. If you upload a video to YouTube, YouTube is owned by Google. It's part of Google, which is the second largest search engine, or YouTube is the second largest search engine available. So any content you put onto there is going to be available to people searching on Google. So it's really good for SEO, and it's going to help pull up some of your content on your website, or just be content in its own right that people can find on YouTube. And of course, video is personal. If you can't be there, if you can't be with your customers or be with your audience, the next best thing you can do is a live video where you can be there in person. People feel it's very close to being there, and people can feel very close to you. But how do we stand out when we've got a social media feed that people are just flicking through? Idly, not sure, they're just a bit bored, they're just flicking through what's going on to save some time, to use up some of their time, and it's only certain things that are going to stand out. Maybe pictures of people something interesting, some flashing movement, what's going to stand out in your feed. And it's really difficult to know what that's going to be, and actually to capture people's attention. Now, what we're looking at here is a LinkedIn feed that I was flicking through earlier. But if you've got TikTok, then you've just got one video filling the entire screen, and you've got to grab people in a few seconds, because they'll flick to the next one and they will flick to the next one. So you've got to find a way of captivating people. Now, one way to do that is to be remarkable. Is to create something that is that has something about it that people want to comment on, that people want to share, that people want to notice. Or you could be smug like this guy as well. That's another way of doing it. But you want to find a way of standing out so that people actually remark on your content. And that idea comes from Seth Godin. So a lot of you who are into marketing might know Seth Godin. I certainly talk about him a lot. And he's written many books. And if you're interested in marketing, which hopefully you would be, then you definitely want to dive into some of his books because he's got lots of interesting concepts. One of them is the purple cow. And the basic idea behind this is if you want to stand out, you want to create your business, or I'm talking about the content that your business creates, into a purple cow. And what that means is if you were to see a purple cow in a field, you would probably stop. You would stare because you've never seen a purple cow before. Who's seen a purple cow before? You'd stop, you'd take photos of it, you'd take some video of it, you'd share it with your friends, and you'd probably be telling that story over a long period of time because no one ever sees a purple cow. And so that's what you want to be trying to create with your content. And that is remarkable. Remarkable means that you will share it with people. So I'm going to read out a little quote I've got on the screen from Seth. Remarkable doesn't mean remarkable to you, however, it means remarkable to me. Am I going to remark about it? And if not, you're average, and average is for losers. So if we think back to our social media feed, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, doesn't matter, you have to create something that people are going to stop on. They are going to feel compelled to take action. That's either to watch it, to click a link that's featured as part of the video or in one of the comments. They're going to write a comment themselves. They're going to share it with someone, but they are going to do something. You want your audience to remark on it. You don't want them just to flick through and keep going to the next one, because then you're average, and average is everyone else. And sadly, as harsh as it is, you're a loser. Now, we don't see many purple cows, apart from the one on Milka. I was actually thinking about this when I was preparing the presentation and saying, actually, you really don't see purple cows everywhere. And then I thought back to my childhood and how I really liked the Milka chocolate. And then I remembered actually there was a purple cow on there. So apart from Milka, what else can you do to be remarkable? Perhaps you can get in people's faces with bad language, flashing colors, or just being intense. Maybe you want to use animals, but we don't always have a cute dog to hand. But if you do, if you work in an area where animals are involved, you will get higher engagement if you feature animals. And they don't have to be cute. I think most animals we feel are quite cute, especially if they're doing silly things. But younger animals, puppies, anything with big eyes, childlike, that's going to engage us more. But for most businesses, we don't have those animals on hand. So what can we do? Maybe we don't feel we're young or Insta-worthy anymore. We're not doing fun things at the weekend we can share about. We're not driving flashy cars. We're not going out to the latest restaurants. And we've got that sort of thing to show off. Or we've not got a young, hip marketing business that we can show off. Maybe we don't have all of those things. And so we look to ourselves and we think, what can I do that's remarkable because our company doesn't do anything that's interesting? But I would say that remarkable, or being remarkable, or creating remarkable content, it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to do all these crazy things like a lot of people do for attention. You can actually create content that is specifically for your customer. It's specifically for your audience. It's personal. You make it fun. You make it informative, and you make it individual for them, because then it's remarkable to the people you're making it for. I'm just going to run through a few examples and just talk through a few ideas that hopefully are just going to give you some inspiration when you're coming to make your video. So the first one I saw, which is quite fun, Oreos. I actually like Oreos, but I haven't had them for ages. We were talking about them. I was talking about them with the boys and how we'd like to get some Oreos, because you can make them into lots of other different things. And actually, that's one of the things Oreo do in their videos, certainly their TikTok channel, is they're sharing lots of different ways that you can use their biscuits in different recipes and making different things of it. So it's quite fun. So the way they use their brand, their product in this case, is their product is just a focus for other activities, other things people want to do with it. I mean, it helps that Oreo is quite iconic. People recognize it. It's very different to many other biscuits, although I do like a good custard cream, which is quite comparable. But in this particular example, they're using the Oreo in the middle as a circular design and then drawing a picture around that of some balloons, which I quite like. But they're just using their product in different and interesting ways. It may be that you can take your product, which ordinarily might be quite boring if you were just to think about it and just look at it. But maybe you could put that product in interesting situations or get people to do interesting things with it. Another example, which I haven't got a video of, but I know I've used the product myself, is Sugru or Sugru. And this is like a moldable, it's like a putty. And when you take it out of the packet, it comes in funky colors and you can mold it and use it to fix or use it for so many different things. I mean, people use it for fixing gadgets. I've used it for putting on the bottom of my drainer because one of its little rubber legs came off. And you can mold it into any shape you like, and then it goes hard. It's brilliant stuff. The nice thing about it, one of the things they did is they actually got their customers to share what they did with their product. And it's such a good way of actually creating content that they can reuse on social media. They were using some of it in their packaging. I know when you bought it, it would have some examples of how you use it and encourages you to share it. So they're sort of encouraging this cycle of customer, not only testimonials, but content that they can use to promote the product again. It's very nice cyclic nature. So maybe using your product in a fun way, encouraging your customers to do that could be quite a good way of creating content that stands out. And the reason it stands out, especially if you get your customers involved, is because they created it, they care about it, and they're more likely to share it. Here's another silly example from a client of ours, actually. Oreo isn't a client of ours, sadly, but this one is Part Display. So this is one of their employees who's just doing some silly dance while he's doing some painting. Now, the thing I've noticed with Part Display is they do put out a lot of fun videos, silly things like this, where, you know, they're just acting up, or sometimes they're using a video filter where they're getting their employees' heads are put on some dancing bears or something like that. All of these things go together with when you meet Part Display and when you work with them, they are quite fun. They're, you know, interesting characters, fun to work with. And so if you like that and you like these feeds and they stand out for you, then you're getting an insight into how they work. And I think that's really nice. So yeah, what Part Display do is they create exhibition stands for people, which I think a lot of exhibition stand companies would just show off the exhibition stand. That's one way of doing it. You could just go and take photos and videos of that and showcase that, which is useful to some degree. You know, if you are looking to design an exhibition stand and you're looking for one of those companies, then that's helpful because you get an idea of a flavor of what's topical at the moment, what other people are doing. But it doesn't stand out because every exhibition stand can do that. What stands out is to showcase how fun your employees are, what interesting things that you get up to. I think if you like that, then you're going to like working with these people. So I really like that. Show how fun your team is a really good way of standing out. Another way of doing it, and sorry to feature me, but I think this is a good example, is to try and tell a story. Try and find something that's going to be interesting to your audience, and then do some of the hard work to go and collect that information, put it together in a format that's fun, and then present it back to them. So this is from a couple of years ago, back when Bath Digital was running an in-person. Sadly, I don't think it's running anymore. Certainly wasn't last year. But I've been for a good number of years and we've tried to report on it. So we would go there and I would watch a number of the workshops, which are all focused around digital things, which could be to do with coding, marketing, even the ethics of digital, how digital works and data is collected online. So all very interesting stuff. I consider it my continual professional development. And so what I would do is I'd go to these workshops and I'd take notes. And I thought, why not bring our podcast to Bath Digital? Because then not only can I learn all of this information, but I can record some of this information and share it with customers, because then it's useful for them. And then I went one stage further and thought, why don't I interview some of the people I'm listening to their workshops? So here's Amy Morse. I forgot her name by the other day. And I said to everyone in the workshop, I've completely forgot her name, forgetting completely. It was titled on the screen what her name was, because I'd remembered to do that at the time. So this is Amy talking about copywriting. So what I'd do is I would pick out the people I want to go and watch. I would then take a note of one particular question I want to ask them, and then go up to them afterwards, say thank you for the presentation, and say, hey, would you mind if I can interview you for the podcast? And And most of them were more than happy to do that because they thought free promotion, great. And then I'll get all the recordings, we put them together, edited it and put it out onto LinkedIn. Now, what makes this remarkable is the fact that I am going out and connecting with other people. I'm asking them for their advice, their opinion. And people like that. People like sharing some expertise. They like talking about themselves. They like getting a bit of free promotion. So not only was I able to put this video together and share it with our customers, and hopefully they found that useful. I know a number of them have watched it, but also I was able to get some extra promotion. Because I stood out to these people I watched, I was able to get them to share this video as well. So that video could spread further and get into their customers' timelines, and hopefully more of their customers would watch it. So this video, more than some of the others, because I included other people, got many more views than some of our others would. So including other people in your video work is a really good idea. Connecting with them, you're building relationships, and hopefully if you do everything right and you have a good story to tell, they're going to share it too. Something else you can do in video is demonstrate your expertise. Now, this video from Alex isn't pow, super exciting, but what it does is demonstrates the sort of credibility that Alex has as being an architect. It demonstrates his quality of work, and it shows what he is like to work with. You know, you get a real feel for Alex, and whether you want to work with him as an architect, you get a feel for his client work, and he's demonstrating his expertise along the way. This is a sequence of videos he created to help promote a couple of different things in his business. One of them is the process. So he, being an architect, he's got quite a rigid process that he needs to go through. And yeah, sure, that's written down, and he's done some great publications to help illustrate how that process works. But he went one step further to create videos to talk through a lot of those processes. Part of that as well are videos created to help people understand how his architectural process will work if they are wanting to accomplish an extension, for example, or they want to, they're looking at, they've got a listed building project. So he can have a video which actually talks through those processes and how he will work with his clients. So he's demonstrating his expertise and also showcasing other work that and different styles of projects that they can have and how they might achieve them. So this video stands out to his customers as a good way of seeing how his process works. And I really like it because it's done in a very thoughtful way and combines a lot of different things together. So moving on, we're going back to Park Display again. This is actually a bit more of a conventional video, I'd say, for an exhibition company. This is where they would, once the exhibition has been set up, they would, rather than just taking a nice picture of what it looks like, and often a lot of exhibition companies just take a picture, they've set it up, the exhibition hasn't started yet, so there's no one milling around, and they take a photo of it. In this case, what they've done is just taken some time with the photographer there to do a little bit of video as well, and just put a little title on it, and it's something they can publish on LinkedIn. And they do a lot of these for any new client work. They'll try and do one of these and then showcase that straight away. And it's a really good way of showing, look, we're doing business. These are the people we're working for, and that helps. It's something that stands out in their feed. And if people are looking for exhibition work at the time, then this is something where they go, oh yeah, actually I wanted something like that. So it's a little bit further. So the combination between some of the more sensible, I'd say, video like this and some of their fun videos featuring employees is pretty cool. Here's Nikki from Eclipse, one of our clients. And this is a way of using video to stand out by asking a testimonial from your customers. So you could look at this in a couple of different ways, but I would look at it as a way of standing out to your customers by actually going out and asking their opinion on something, asking about their business, maybe asking for feedback on what you do, and hopefully, ultimately, they'll say some nice words about your company. So that's one way of standing out, but also as a way of standing out on your social media feed by incorporating your customers and getting testimonials and showcasing those. It shows off how you help people, how you work with people. It can give you some good case studies. that show your potential customers or people interested in that field how you might work together, or the sort of work you can do. Now, we've actually done a whole club session on testimonials. It's number 14. So if you look for IMC14 on our website, how to make a fab client testimonial videos, we'll make sure that's linked in the notes. Then it actually takes you through some of the process you can go through to create different sorts of testimonials. There's lots of questions you can ask in there, lots of helpful tips and advice. So if you are into doing that, it's quite a good idea. The other way it helps make you stand out in your social media feed is that if you incorporate your customer is more likely to share it, especially if they're talking about they're allowed to talk about their own company in there. They are going to share that on their own feed. So it's remarkable in that they will comment on it. They will share it with other people. Here are some fun little videos. These are actually customer contributions from Hot Tubs Rock. Now, this is a really, like with the testimonial, getting contributions from your customers is a really good way of spreading the message and being remarkable. Now, let's just take the example of the time lapse on the left-hand side. So Hot Tubs Rock would have installed this hot tub at their home. And then I don't know if Angharad encouraged them to do this, but they have taken a little testimonial video and they would have shared that on their Facebook page. So all of their friends and maybe some of their business colleagues get to see this. They're kind of showing off a little bit. They're saying, look at what we've got. Look at the lovely evening we had in the tub. That is going to maybe make some people a little bit jealous. They'll go, oh, we want one of those. Look how nice that looks. And they might well become a little bit warmer to the idea of getting a hot tub. They've obviously tagged in Hot Tubs Rock on this. Hot Tubs Rock are then able to share that on their own feed. And then any customers, any audience, any people who are warm to the idea of a hot tub, they can see, just like with Part Display, that people are buying their product. So it's social proof that people are actually buying their product and using their service. And again, may make them a little bit closer, might make them pick up the phone or visit their website and browse some of the products available. So getting customers to contribute to your video is not only a really good idea because it's likely to get you more reach, but it also, if you develop it in the right way, can become an easier way to create content because you aren't having to think about it each and every time. All you're doing is essentially asking customers and maybe showing the way, demonstrating some examples of the types of content they can do. And you're doing that by getting client examples and contributions and showcasing them on your website, showcasing them on your social media feed, maybe using some of them as examples when you're going through a sales process and showing some customer contribution videos. In doing so, that kind of shows them, well, when you buy from us, you want to share, you want to love it so much that you will actually share it with other people. A little bit more from Angharad here. This is a rant of hers on Facebook. This is on, I think this is on the business feed. I can't remember what she's talking about here. Hopefully it wasn't ranting about a customer, but getting emotional in a video to the right people is going to get your attention. You know, once people are hooked in, there's a story there. They want to find out how it ends. And it also might divide people as well. You might get people really supporting you in whatever it is that you are ranting about. And you might get people who disagree with you as well. That's really good. Having a divided audience is brilliant because it spurs conversation. Now, I think there are maybe a lot of people on social media, particularly Twitter, where they are very divisive and they will post things just to divide the audience and get arguments happening on Twitter. I'm not suggesting you do that, and I don't like that. You're over contriving it. But if you have things that are important to you that you want to talk about, get them out there. Get them out there to your audience. This certainly isn't my approach. I actually sort of showcasing something that I'm unhappy about on social media. It's just not the way I've been brought up. But for some people, it can work really well. Maybe I should. There's certainly things that Claire and I talk about that we have strong opinions on that you know actually might work quite well on social media. But for some people and for the right audience, I think it can be quite good. Get emotional. Share how you really feel. Have a rant. Or just use puppets. You know, if you're can be difficult sometimes to come up with ways of promoting your product. Maybe you just want to do something different. You want to actually have something that people don't often see online a lot of the time. And here's an example from Tom. I think Serco, his puppet here, popped up in my LinkedIn social media feed and instantly caught my attention because you don't see many puppets, to be honest, certainly in what I would call a more adult business arena. So it stood out. It was remarkable. I actually got in touch with Tom. After watching some of his videos, I got in touch with Tom and we interviewed him on IMC76, bringing brands to life with humor and puppets. And we'll make sure the link's in the show notes. So we actually interviewed him on that webinar just to find out a little bit about his business and how he started using puppets to promote his business. Now, in actual fact, Tom does make puppets. Tom is very theatrical. He's on the stage. He's often doing a lot of things, certainly around Christmas time. But in between, he does help other brands with either using his puppets to help promote what they do, or he makes them a puppet to help promote something they want to do. Now, interestingly, with Serco, Serco's a bit of a rude puppet, actually quite the opposite of how Tom is. Tom's a very nice guy. Serco's very rude. And Tom uses Serco as a way of being his alter ego in a way and standing out in that way without Tom actually looking bad. Maybe that's an approach I should take. But a lot of people actually like to be interviewed by Serco because he's so abusive. And so that gets a little bit of attention online. And so do they. So that's always quite fun. Another fun one here is an IKEA advert in which I'll just describe it. There's a kid running through a living room with a dad just slipping up every single time. And eventually they decide to buy an IKEA non-slip mat that goes underneath the mat they've already got. What I like about this is a non-slip or unslip mat is a bit boring. You know, it's a very functional product that you don't see. That's the very purpose of it. It goes underneath the mat. You don't see it. It's not particularly exciting. So how can you make it exciting to sell? It's actually probably quite a good high margin product for them. It's probably not very expensive to buy, but it's a high need to anyone who's buying their rug from IKEA. So what they've done is they've turned the idea of someone slipping up because the rug's coming out from under them every single time. And finally, they've had enough. They've got to go to IKEA and buy this non-slip mat. But it's done in a way that's quite fun. It's a dad chasing his child. The child's wearing some kind of crazy alien outfit. And it's just a nice, fun way of doing it without overtly selling the product. And I think that's what's key with a lot of the videos that I'm showing is we're not trying to sell the product. We're either trying to demonstrate how it solves a problem, or we're trying to have some fun, but by incorporating the product. But what we're not doing is shoving the product in people's faces and saying, buy this phone, or buy this Oreo, or this non-slip mat. We're just trying to showcase, either get attention so that people see the brand and see the product, or we're trying to show how it's going to be used. So having a product focus and a purpose is good, and then having some fun with it, even better. And then just to finish in my example videos, just sending a smile to someone, just making, I was talking earlier about how emotional video can be, how emotive it can be. GIFs are brilliant for this. These little videos that people can use and send and share that have a silly little message that if it's someone's birthday, you can send them a little GIF. And there's no reason why you can't do this in a business context. Okay, you might want to know your clients a little bit better than just meeting them as part of the sales process. But, like the park display video where you had the guy dancing while he was roller brushing the wall, why not have a bit of fun? If your company is fun internally and clients are going to have fun with you, why not showcase that externally? So I think GIFs are great. They're a little bit of fun. I probably don't send enough of them. Claire, watch out. I'm going to be sending more in the Basecamp pings. But I do love them. And I think it does send a smile. Certainly I get them when I receive them. So to wrap up, the takeaways really from if you want to create remarkable videos is make it fun, make it helpful, and make it interesting. It could be all three of those or just one of them. But key is to make it audience focused, make it relevant to the people that you want to remark on it, that you want to have an emotion when they see it, and make it personal. there's no reason. I mean, I'm talking about social media videos here, or maybe videos on your website, but there's no reason you can't create a video that is one-to-one. We did a Loom, a sort of webinar Loom walkthrough recently. I can't remember the number, but we'll make sure it's in the show notes, talking about how we can use this application to create videos for your customers. There's no reason you can't do it on a one-to-one basis. So make it fun, helpful, interesting, make it focused on or about your audience, and make it personal if you can. The important thing to remember is that the quality of the video is secondary. If you hit all these things I've talked about and it's got a good story to it, the actual quality of the video doesn't matter. Right, that's a short, sharp one. I think that's quite a good one for us to leave it there. So maybe we can find out from Claire what we've got wrapped up for next week.
Yes, so next week's episode follows on quite nicely from this one, Ben, as you will be demonstrating how to use YouTube Shorts to generate social content and share the benefits of how that will help with SEO and audience engagement.
Yeah, I certainly am. In fact, I don't know why I've not done it sooner, but I had a client who wanted to do, in fact, it was part display. They wanted to do more video themselves when they're at the exhibition. So YouTube Shorts was a really ideal way of doing that. So what I'll be doing is taking you through how you might use that, just, the very boring functionality of how you go through creating a simple video, and then maybe we'll have a bit of fun and dive into that. So who knows what's going to happen next week. Thanks, Claire. We're here every Friday from 10 a.m. We cover everything in marketing, strategy, social, SEO, video, and definitely more. If you've got something exciting to share, email Claire, support@ratherinventive.com. And don't forget, you can catch up on all of our previous webinars on the website, ratherinventive.com/membership. If you're a member, if you aren't, then we're starting to release some of the older videos on YouTube. So do check out our channel there. Thanks for watching and see you next week.